Guys, it's time for Breakthrough with Coach Lou. Coming to you live from Accelerate Life University, XLR8Life.com. Coach Lou will help you break through anything that's stopping you. Are you ready to get the motivation, the energy, the life, and all the success you really want and deserve? With no further ado, here's Coach Lou.
What's up, guys? Good morning, and welcome to Breakthrough with Lou Friday edition. Here we go. Another week, and if I can dare say an amazing week. It's been an amazing week. It's been a bittersweet week, and I think we can all relate to that. Have you ever had one of those weeks where some things were just absolutely amazing? The interactions with some people, the open eye enlightening that goes on in a week, and you go, wow, that was an amazing week. And on the flip side to that, there's something bittersweet that happened that wasn't part of that grand theme of an exciting week. So on that note, this morning's show is dedicated to Hemi. Little Green Hemi. I think you guys, if you follow me on social media, you've probably seen Hemi sitting in his bowl like he was in the hot tub posing. The only lizard I have ever had, the only water dragon that slept on his back. First time he did it, we were like, oh my God, Hemi's dead. Slept on his back, would sit in his bowl with one hand behind his head, back sitting like he was in a hot tub. Just the friendliest, sweetest little, most interactive little water dragon ever. Passed suddenly the other night. He just, within one day, went from being okay to couldn't open his eyes. Boom, gone like that. The good thing was the boy didn't suffer. We think it was a boy. Or maybe a girl, I don't know. Very sweet lizard, but very sad, but also a bittersweet. A shout out to a friend of mine that we do some business with. And she said, the thing about owning pets, Lou, is, when you lose them, you're sad. That time when you lose them. She goes, but what about, that's 1%, not even a blip in the pan of the overall. What about all the cool memories, the funny little pictures, the funny things they did, the love they brought to you? And I thought, wow, it was like instant relief. So shout out to you, Melissa, on that one. That was definitely, I'm glad you said that on our call yesterday, because it opened up a whole new perception. But it was right. It was, which time was I focusing on? That one day of saying goodbye to Hemi, or that day of, or that 7 years of having a really amazing pet that was definitely one of a kind. Anyway, carry that over, guys, because this morning I want to talk to you and ask you a question. When is now the time to admit the truth? The whole truth, nothing but the truth, only the truth. The truth that there is no one else to blame or congratulate for where you are in life right now other than yourself. Now, you might be, you're rearing up right now. Some of y'all I know are rearing up going, hey, coach, this happened to me, this person wronged me, this person, if it wasn't for them, I would have never learned this. If I hadn't come across this person and decided to say hello instead of, walking on by or something, this person or that person. Well, yes, there's interaction from others. God knows, we know that. And the more you live, the more you realize that human interaction is important. But the truth is, and I'm going to say it again, there's no one else to blame or congratulate for where you are right now except for you. Okay? Now, the good news is it's never too late to turn it around if you're not happy with where you are. Okay? There's options, there's alternatives, there's tomorrow, there's today to get started. Okay? But you got to admit to yourself first that you are the only real reason for your time successes or your time quote-unquote failures. Okay, we have talked about this. What did we talk about the past few weeks? And if you're new to the show or you're just tuning in, definitely say hello. You get in the chats here, guys. I've got our chats up on all venues. Last time we talked about setting your anchor or your flow state, but let's take a little walk down memory lane before that. Okay? This whole time perception thing, the 4 P's of time. Now, I'm not going to review all that today. Go back to that show, catch it at XLR8life.com, and go over to the Breakthrough blog and catch all that. But, the truth is we are responsible for our time. So I'm going to rewind to last time a little bit and just give you a review so we can base today's show on that. Okay, we talked about flow and setting your flow anchor, okay? And I do that because that's an anchor for me. Boom, I got to get in state. Okay, you see the difference? If you're listening on the podcast, I smile and sit up more upright when I do my move. But the deal is this: when you anchor something in, or it could be a finger snap, or it could be, just doing this for confidence. I don't know what it is. Remember, you set the anchor last time. If you didn't watch the last show, or you weren't on it, go back to it because it was important. But once you anchor into that flow state, you then can move forward. Now, I got a story for you today. I know I tell you a lot of my own stories because I like to share stuff that I learn from and have meaning. That's really what coaching and teaching and mentoring is all about, is taking something that you've learned yourself and you've walked in the steps, and you watching me this morning may be going, you know what, I need this. And how can I teach something to you? Because either I've walked in it or I've coached somebody else and watched the steps to success go to work. Okay? So, my dad years ago, those of you who follow me and we've interacted a lot know it's been a long time since I've had a dad. Okay, I was 19 when he passed away, and before that, parents were split. I'd see him on Sunday as a little kid, and that wasn't a lot of time. And then, I was the last kid to come along, so he wasn't exactly young and ready to go, hey, let's go do fun stuff. Let's go see a movie so he could fall asleep during the movie. Okay, not picking on my dad, but he wasn't in the same physical mindset that I was as far as health and vibrancy and energy. So, what shifted was dad on Sunday to dad on Saturday and Sunday, because I went to work when I was like 10, 11 years old with him. I mean, that was kind of my way to get time with him, but it was also, I wanted to make money, baby. I got a funny story I'll share with you at the end of this. Remind me. It's just a cute 2-second story, but it was so funny. So, he quickly became more of the boss at work than, Dad. Hey, Daddy, let's go have fun. No, it was like, get to work, which I thank God to this day, and I was blessed that was the case because he gave me a work ethic, okay? Yesterday was a super long day, and I'm here with you this morning. I got to have a confession. I woke up to the alarm clock this morning. I normally am up before the alarm clock. I normally beat it. I set it just in case because I don't want to be late. And I woke up to the darn alarm, and I'm like, I must have been tired. But, hey, I'm well rested and ready to go. Back to the story here. So as I progressed working with Dad, he would, and family businesses have their challenges, he would get so frustrated and so mad. He had anger issues. So he would come in and he'd be like, oh, what the hell, you guys didn't get this thing set up on time. We're not ready to go. This was done wrong. Redo it. And he'd look at me and he'd say, why can't you get it through your head? You're the one that's going to understand this. You're the one that's going to know this. You're the one that's going to need this someday. You're the one. And he says to me, he goes, how come there's never enough time to do it right? And I started to spout out all the bullshit excuses I could think of. And he's like, there's never enough time to do it right. But there's always time to go back and fix what you didn't do right in the first place. And I'm like, oh man, I can't really argue with that. He's right. He's right. How many things in your life is there not enough time to do right in the first place, or sometimes even do in the first place, but you certainly have time to fix the problem later. Same thing with money. How many people screw up April 15th, don't get their taxes in, don't even bother to file an extension, end up paying a penalty, and still end up doing their dang taxes? They still spend the 1 to 3 to 8 hours, whatever it is, to do all this stuff. Don't take the 5 minutes to put in your extension if you need it. I get it. We're busy. They pay a penalty, and they still do the work. What about the stuff where you go, I could get my marketing done and really design a great marketing program? Ooh, this is my weak spot, guys. Here it is. I'm going to tell you a little truth here about me. I could set up this great marketing plan. No, instead I'm scrambling at the last minute. Oh my God, got to get this set up. Got to get the. Oh yeah. I wonder why we go, could have done better, or had to work till 1 o'clock in the morning to get it all out and all done. Why didn't I do it right the first time? Take the time to set up the processes. Now, I'm not saying I do this all the time. I'm just saying that's what I've learned from. Set up the processes. Set up the posts. Set up the things that need to be done and automate and get it done instead of trying to scramble going, I got to get an email out early in the morning about tonight's event, about tonight's auction, about tonight's live. Instead of having it already pre-programmed, ready to go. Okay, that's the difference. You're gonna do it anyway. You're gonna do your taxes anyway. You're gonna need to get on your body and your health at some point anyway. Do you want to do it from a hospital bed, or do you want to do it going out for a nice jog in the woods like I do and get out there and eat right? Do you want to fix your heart by having a surgery, or do you want to do the right things to keep your heart healthy? You're going, what does this have to do with health today? I'm talking about the time. I'm talking about investing the time up front when the time is there to do. Okay? And I'm talking about with my dad. There was never enough time for us kids to do the right thing and get it done right, but we certainly could fix the problem. And dang it, he was right. The older I get, the more Dad was right. Now, I'm not saying he was easy. I'm not saying he was lovey-dovey dad. Okay? But he taught me some lessons that were important. And it doesn't mean you're not going to screw up once in a while. You're not going to get a plan in place and do it and start and everything's rolling and you have a day where you screw it all up. Yeah, I've been doing this month and a day stuff, and we're going to share that later in the month. And guess what? I've been doing it on a Thursday. Okay, some people do it once a month, some people twice. I love doing it weekly. Well, that's great, except for that one Thursday a month, which was this week. GSA auction, and we were loaded with cars. And then I had a special event for NARS in the afternoon, which was an absolutely amazing event. I know there was a reason to be there. Okay? I know that there was a reason to be there, and there was. We raised a ton of money for a great event. They help families in their industry that have fallen people on the job and stuff. So it was just an absolutely amazing event. Loved it. But I didn't get my month and a day yesterday, okay? So I'm like, oh yeah, I get home and it's like, I still got marketing to do, and yeah, make sure the show, the RTMPs are set up and all that stuff. And I was like, I wonder why I ended up waking up the alarm clock today. It was like, okay, I could have been a little more proactive. Not saying I dropped the ball, but knowing that I'm losing a day on one side of it, but gaining so much more on the other side of it, could have built in a few time blocks this week to accommodate, maybe worked 1 extra hour each day on something to accommodate for the fact that there was a change in the time schedule. And didn't really drop the ball, just kind of, worked. It was a longer day yesterday. I should have been able to wind down from an amazing day like that and go, at the end of it, instead of going, I still got stuff to tail on to the end of it. You get where I'm coming from here. Okay, so I got one other quick dad story for you, and this is just a cute one. I don't know if it's relevant to time or anything else, but it probably is because it was relevant to age. I'm about 12, 13 years old, and I'd work all day long on a Saturday for $20. Okay, you give me $20 at the end of the day. Now, granted, I'm 12, 13 years old. Now, in my eyes, I'm working my butt off, and I did. I always say I worked. I wanted to work. I didn't want to, labor fake any of that. I really wanted to do this. I really enjoyed it. So I go to my father, and I'm like, Dad. And it was probably the only time in the world he was ever taller than me. I was probably 12 because I got almost as tall as Dad quickly. I said, I worked up the courage for this. I'm like, I need a raise because, you only pay me $20 for the day. And our days are not 8-hour days like the kids that work at McDonald's and stuff like that. So I need a raise. I don't think you're paying me minimum wage. And he looks at me and looks down at me at that point and goes, you're not minimum wage. And I was like, are you serious? Once again, can't argue that one. He is technically right. I was not old enough to be working and should have been thankful to have a job. And in the reality, and later on he did allude to this before he died, he said, you do understand, I wasn't trying to hold you down. I was trying to give you the appreciation for going, I'm not going to stay an employee all my life where somebody goes, no, this is the best you can do. He said, I've always encouraged you, and you didn't always take the time. And I had already left the family business at that point and started my own business when he passed because he sold to my brother. Long story we won't get into. But I had that last year when Dad knew it was pretty much his last year to actually get to know my dad. And he said, I'm proud of you, son. Don't like your business partner. Don't like your wife at the time. I was married, believe it or not. He said, I don't like either one of them, but I want you to understand, past when you outgrow both of those situations, that you don't work for somebody. He said, this is why I made it so hard on you, was to teach you to make the best use of your time. The best use of your time was not loading and unloading the truck, for X amount of dollars an hour, or running sheets as a kid for the auction for less than minimum wage. He said, that's not the best use of your time. Use your voice. You're a great auctioneer. You're already better than your dad. And I didn't think I was, but he said, you're great. He said, talk to people. Use your voice. Use your brain. Now, I still am a very huge proponent of physical. I still will go in and occasionally help unload the trucks. I set stuff up. When it comes to the auction business, I'm still physically very active in that. When it comes to this side of it, coaching and health, I'm very active in that. I don't want to just sit, okay, and not be active, but it has to happen here and from here first. You've got to plan it out. You've got to make the best use of your time. What's this full circle this morning with all these stories is who is responsible for where you're at with your time. It's you. You've got to admit it. It is really you. And you might go, well, Lou, I'm the single mom with 3 kids and 3 jobs, and I don't have a second of time. You got the same time as the college student that's working 10 hours a week and goes to school 10 hours a week and lives in mom and pop's basement for free. Okay? You still have the same 60 seconds, 60 minutes, 24, 365. That's what I'm trying to relate to you guys. Okay, and I understand that not everybody's situation is equal, not everybody's opportunity is equal. We'd be silly to think that, nor do we want that. We don't want the androgynous, everybody wears a orange shawl and walks around and gets a government block of cheese each day and goes home and sits and does a little government job. We don't want socialism, folks. We don't want to all be equal at every single thing. We want to have that uniqueness. If you are the best guitar player in the world and you get in a band, you should make millions. Where somebody that goes twing, 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 I played 3 notes. That's, I don't practice 30 hours a day like the real good person. Why, I should have the same? No. No, it's good to be unique. It's good to have unequal opportunities, because the people who have had the worst unequal opportunities you see on TV, they have TV shows. They were born into the worst of the worst, and they grew to be these amazing people that help the world in podcasts and this stuff and that. Okay, they would have never done that if they didn't have hardship to go through. The people that are the best time managers were the worst F-ups probably when they were younger on the time, and had an epiphany and broke through it and said, I can't half-butt everything in life. Okay, so there's good news for you. If you feel like, I don't really have this time thing under control at all, or my time is totally screwed up, or I totally can't get a grip on it, that's probably the best place in the world to be, because you're about to have a breakthrough. You've had it. If you go, I do pretty good, status quo, you're never going anywhere. You're not going to bust through it. You got to get uncomfortable. You got to get uncomfortable. My time is out of control. That person who admits that and then takes an action step to do something and comes up with a plan is going to make a difference. The person that says, I'm just stressed all the time. I wish I had time for it. There's no push. There's no pain there. Okay? So admit it today. Either you're a time screw up and you have no control over it and you are so bad that something's got to give, or you're doing pretty good, but you really want another level. Realize that doing pretty good is for average people. You wouldn't be on the Breakthrough with Lou show and watching me and dedicating your time in the morning to this if you wanted status quo and average. Okay? Let's face it. Would you be on this show if you were status quo and average? No. And you might be a time master. Let me tell you something. Even when you master something, there's always that one step better. Remember, good gets you poor results. Okay? Excellent gets you good results. It's outstanding that gets you the best results. And that's only a tiny bit above excellent. So if you're already excellent, excuse me, let me get a sip of my Life Boost coffee. If you are already excellent, take that next step for outstanding. Guys, this stuff is like amazing. But you got to admit it. That's what today's all about. You got to admit that you own it wherever you're at with, especially in the realm of time that we've been talking about. This is your thing. Okay? Now, this whole thing that I told you with my dad and stuff, this impacted me as an adult, because younger adult, I used to do a lot of fragmented work and not get a lot done. I would be jumping from task to task, and I'd be stressed out all the damn time. When I was flying twice a week to go down south and do the sales down there, I'd be stressed to get to the airport. I'd roll in there, walk in, they'd close the door on the plane, I'd sit down. Okay, I thought I had my time so well that I could get on the plane right before they closed the door, and I didn't. Now, then this thing came, it's called September 11th, happened. Horrendous, horrific tragedy. But I also learned the value of time, because I'd get to the airport and go, I'm not getting on this plane unless I beg a place in line here. So I'd go up and tell somebody, hey, I got no baggage, no nothing, please. I fly all the time, and usually somebody would have some mercy and go, come on. And they'd look like what they're really telling me is you. And I would get on the plane, but the stress got worse and worse and worse. So it was like something had to give. And I was already getting up at 4 something in the morning to catch this darn plane. By the time you drive to the airport and everything. Now, I wasn't about to get up at 2. So needless to say, I made some changes in how I operated my time. But the thing was that fragmented work, and there's a fallacy of multitasking. It doesn't work, guys. I can't focus on doing the show and be over here going, oh, where's my marketing today? Where's my IRA at? I can't do that. I got to focus on you, right? And it's one of those things where you learn. You don't even really want to listen to too much while you're in that focus state, unless it's like really relaxing or focus music. But we'll talk about that another day. So multitasking doesn't work. automating works. Okay? Guess what? I could, on our email software, and do, have an email going out right now. How cool would that be? How cool is that? I can have an email going out to an email list right now and handling something. I could have the bank generating a e-payment for a lease on the commercial or the electric bills or the internet. It can be on auto pay. That can be happening while I'm doing the show because it's not taking my what? Say it. Focus. Oh. So multitasks can happen at the same time. You just shouldn't be multitasking. You can't have, and I'm the king of many screens. Okay? The funny thing is I've got 3 screens and sometimes 4 running. But that's not so I can be paying attention to them. It's so I can make sure where we're broadcasting. I can make sure if there's comments coming in. But I'm not multitasking. I have nothing that's not related to the task at hand open. I used to. Oh man, I'd be trying to write a show and I'd have, a course on a mastermind I belong to up, and I'm learning while I'm writing our show. No. I might be learning while I'm writing our show if I'm focused. I'm writing the show or a post or marketing. But you cannot multitask. Okay, and I want to leave with you. Okay. But once I admitted that the stresses of time and that feeling, that horrendous feeling of I've got to work twice as hard for half as much as other people get, it was probably partially true because I was working so hard fragmented that it seemed like I was working twice as hard. Once you get that focus and that flow going, guys, get in that flow state. Set your time. Take that phone and set it to the side and turn it off or turn off the ringer. And you might say, some people say, hey, listen, I got a parent that I'm taking care of, or I've got a child that's ill or something, or, I've got law enforcement in the family, and we all know what that means when that phone might ring. So what do? You set a do not disturb with maybe your 2 people that would be your point of contact. Maybe your 2 people that mostly know, hey, you know what, this is not the time to call him, you or her or whatever. Don't call them, but if it's an emergency, we know that they're going to get the call. Or if somebody can't reach you in an emergency, who are they going to be the next person to reach out to? That's the person that needs to be able to get to you. Do you see where I'm going with that? I can't stop in the middle of this and go, oh, what a cool picture on Instagram. Oh, somebody liked my post. Oh, hi guys, I'm back to, where was I? What was I teaching you? Something about time? You can't fragment that. Every time you are disturbed when you're in flow state, it takes an average of 21 minutes to get back into that state. Have you ever been really into something, reading a book, doing a course, creating something, writing a book maybe, and you're on a roll and something happens that takes you out of it, and number one, you forget you were right on the edge of this whole scenario that you were going to put out, and you were going to finish this, and you were just going to finish with a bang, and instead you finish with a dud because you can't remember for your life where you were on track for before the phone rang. Guys, I'm telling you, this is important stuff. Okay, and I know I'm a little bit offbeat. I don't sit there and teach in a professor style with a whiteboard behind me. I do have a whiteboard, and we might do some of that where we map out some stuff. But I'm not going to sit there and bore you to death. I'm going to call it real like it is, how this really happens in real life. Okay? So once I admitted that I wasn't the victim of time in this world and dumped that horrible, I have to work twice as hard for half of the return that other people get, then did I learn to harness the power of time. Now, am I perfect? No, none of us are going to be perfect. It's not perfection we're after, it's action. It's learning, it's growth. Perfection, when you're perfect, you're gone. The minute you are 100% perfect, he's going to pull you up. You're gone. So, we like it here. Even if we're in turmoil times, tumultuous times, rough economic times, whatever it is that you could say, well, maybe heaven would be better right now. But heaven's permanent, y'all. Okay? Let's stay here for a while and get our work done first. Okay, you ready for a quick tool how to enact this and put this into actual use? All right, here's your steps, guys. It's going to be real quick because I'm a little over-winded on the show this morning. Okay, number one step is to admit that it is you, me in my case, you in your case. I didn't do this to you. You didn't do this to me. That has brought you to exactly where you are today. Yes, people have had tragedies. Yes, there's outside things you can't control. But it's the meaning you've assigned to it and what you do with it that matters. Okay, number two, you got to forget the old beliefs about time. I don't have enough time. If I were so-and-so, if I had more money, I'd have more time. You got to eradicate those. You got to blow them out. Okay, like we set the anchor on the last show, there's a way to eradicate those. And at some point, that's a longer process. So reach out to me for some one-on-one coaching on that. I'll teach you how to eradicate the negative anchors that hold in you and absolutely eradicate them, no matter what it is, whether it was the worst trauma in the world or whether it was a minor setback or just something you can't seem to get past. We can get rid of those. Okay. Number three, you got to make a list of the real needle-moving actions in your life. What are the top 10 things that if you did these, okay, you might be doing one or two, but if you did these 10 things in your life, your business, you would move forward at lightning speed, and you know it, but I ain't got time for that, coach. I don't have time. I don't have time to make this list. Well, make the time, baby. It's worth it, okay? Make the time for what you want. If you feel like I'm talking to you, I am, okay? You, yes, I am talking to you. If there's something you really want, go for it. Go for it. I don't know what that looks like for you. There's so many different things, but if there's something that you go, this is what I really want, whether it's something that you're expected from family or the expected of society, that's something you really want, go for it. You got one life. One. Okay? I don't know what that looks like for you, but go for it. And yes, I'm talking to you. So smile, because yes. All right, make these needle movers, write them down. Now, number four, you get to have fun with this. Take that list of needle movers and classify them into two groups. The ones you love, and put them on your map, your massive action plan that we've talked about. Mass action plan, your GPS, set it for it. You know, this is my favorite part. Yesterday, I'm going to give you an example, okay? My favorite part of the day was, the event in the auction, and then the event was a benefit auction. But that's one of my favorite things to do. And funny thing is, one of my crew called me up, and he was like, you're on the road doing that stuff again. He said, when you get tired of that, send some my way, because he's an auctioneer too. And I'm like, I'm not tired of it yet. This is the part that I love. I don't want to delegate this. I do want to delegate picking up truckloads of stuff. I do want to delegate some of the more mundane marketing stuff. Even though I love marketing, it's still, this is what I love. I'm not going to send somebody else to go to that event and interact and meet great people and do something that has an impact. Oh my God. No, I don't want to delegate that. How about the ones you don't love? There's things that will move the needle in life, but you don't love them. How about doing the SEO on your website? Okay? I understand how it works. I don't love that stuff. Okay? I love video production, believe it or not. I have my own post-production. I actually love that for some reason, and that really isn't it's a necessary part, but it's not a big needle mover. But I also don't want to let that go to somebody else who somebody decides, I'm going to edit that out, and that was something that would have had impact on you. This is a conversation, guys. This is not me talking at you only. This is a conversation. This is not me reading from a book. I don't read a script. This isn't scripted. As you can oftentimes tell, I may not use the exact right word or the proper conjugation of the verb. Okay? But the fact is, I want to get this to you. So number 4, the reality is, out of those top 10, whatever, needle movers in your life, what are the ones you love? Put those on your map. The ones you don't love, delegate them and put them on somebody else's map. But get them done. Okay, this is your responsibility. You have to admit that you have to handle this. Okay, and then use those anchors that we set last time for flow state. Boom, take massive action. I'm ready. Boom, go. Okay, do the Mel Robbins rule. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Don't screw around. Getting in the cold plunge this morning. Waking up to the alarm, I did not have optimal time this morning. That was not optimal. Waking up an hour before I need to be up is optimal. Okay, 20 minutes before. Whatever I wake up before 6 a.m. in the morning, whether it's 20 to 6, quarter to 6, 5 a.m., if it's within that hour and a half window of 6 a.m., I got to get up because I'm going to be in the wrong state. If I go back to sleep, I'll be in the wrong sleep state. And then I'll be groggy anyway, so I may as well get up. But whatever it is, you know what? The first thing I say, I don't sit there and go, oh man, I could have slept another 30 minutes if I wake up at 5:30. I just gained 30 minutes in my day. Okay, and that feels pretty good. Doesn't mean I'm not a little groggy. But if I wake up naturally at 5:30, that means I'm supposed to be up. Okay? But get in that flow state and take the massive action to succeed. That's what it takes. Okay, sign up for Click, guys. I'm doing it. I'm letting you sit in on a Click meeting for free. Not only sit in, but take full participation. Okay, I'm putting those, I am being a little multitasker here, putting that in the chats because I wanted you on. You got to sign up for it, though. I have limited seating for it. That is, Click is Coach Lou Inner Circle, so you get in the Click. Maybe when you're younger, Clicks were a bad thing, but this Click is a good thing. This is where we meet once a month. If you like the show, I do in-depth trainings, 4 of those a month on the site. Then we get together for a Zoom meeting where you can interact, ask questions. All right, maybe I need another sip of coffee, huh? Ask questions and get involved and be a community, okay? So what we need to do today is I need for you to tell me that you're going to commit to owning your time. Learn to say yes when it serves you. More importantly, on the flip side, learn to say no to the time stealers. And we're going to delve more into that yes and no stuff as we go on this month. But saying no sometimes is equally as important or even more important than saying yes. Say yes to what serves you. Say no to what doesn't. There it is. I could have just said that and you didn't have to listen to me for the last 37 minutes and 37 seconds. Guys, live with faith, energy, passion. Always live your dreams. This is Coach Lou getting ready to sign off this morning and wishing you the best day ever, the best week ever, the best weekend ever. Love y'all. Have an amazing day, and I will see you on the next roundabout. Wouldn't be Coach Lou if I didn't say that.
Ready to take it to the next level? Tune in to XLR8Life.com for our live shows, encore presentations, life-changing courses, and live coaching with Coach Lou himself. As Coach Lou always says, live with faith, energy, love, passion, and always live your dreams.